शुभ प्रभात दोस्तों, आपके साथ में यतींदर हूँ। आज बहुत ही स्पेशल प्रोग्राम होने वाला है श्रोताओं। जो हमारे 809 का सेगमेंट है, मैं अभी उसके बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन 9 से 11 वाला भी जो सेगमेंट है, संजीव जी बहुत अच्छे गाने लेके आ रहे हैं आपके लिए। काफ़ी लोगों की शिकायत रही थी कि भाई गाने कम हो गए ख़ासतौर पर मैं गानों के बारे में बहुत कम सोच पाता हूँ, क्योंकि मैं और ज्वलंत विषयों में चला जाता हूँ। एंटरटेनमेंट समहाउ मैं लास्ट में कर पाता हूँ, लेकिन संजीव जी उसकी भरपाई करेंगे, इसलिए हमारी ऐसी टीम है। लेकिन श्रोताओं, आज हम इसलिए इसको ख़ास प्रोग्राम कह रहे हैं कि आज हमारे साथ में क्वींसलैंड से, ब्रिस्बेन से तो ख़ास मेहमान आए हैं। वो मेहमान हमारे ऐसे हैं कि जो हिंदी नहीं जानते हैं, उनका जो ताल्लुक़ है वो ईरान से है। मैं चाहूँगा कि उनसे आपकी बात खुद ही कराएं, वो खुद ही आपको बताएंगे कि वो कौन है, क्या है, कैसे यहाँ आए हैं। साथ में हम श्रोताओं ये भी चाहेंगे कि चूँकि हमारे इलेक्शन आने वाले हैं, अगले सप्ताह हमारे इलेक्शन है, उसमें हम एक और इशू पे ध्यान दें। क्या हम ऑस्ट्रेलिया को बहुत प्रॉस्पर बनाना चाहते हैं? क्या हम अपनी छोटी छोटी डिमांड को किनारे रखें, ऐसा करें जिससे कि इस ऑस्ट्रेलिया की जो आत्मा है, जो उसकी वैल्यू है, वो ऐसी रहें जो जिसकी वजह से हम यहाँ पे आए हैं। तो हम क्यों आए हैं यहाँ पे? हम यहाँ पे इसलिए आए हैं, एक लॉ एंड ऑर्डर है, सबको सम्मान है, सब आदमी लॉ को फॉलो करते हैं, किसी के लिए ख़ास बात नहीं है, कोई अपना इम्पोज नहीं करता है। हम इसीलिए तो आए हैं ना। आप बताइए आपके बारे में, इसमें आपकी इसके बारे में क्या राय हो सकती है? मेरा नंबर है 0421-590-791, 0421-590-791। तो श्रोताओ, हम शुरू करते हैं। तो हमारे साथ जो मेहमान हैं वो एंजिन एंड हैशम हैं। तो एंजिन का मैं इसलिए नाम दे रहा हूँ कि वो स्त्री हैं, लेडी हैं। तो हम पहले ही सब कुछ we start from a lady. So, Anjan, you are very welcome in Darpan radio program. I know you can't speak Hindi, but please go ahead and speak in English.
Sure. Thank you so much, and namaste, everyone. Thanks for having me here. It's actually a great opportunity for us to be here and just speak about what's happening in our home, our new home, Australia, that we share all the values together and we have come here for those values. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having
tell
me.
me about yourself.
Sure.
When did you come here? From which part of Iran?
Yeah, of course.
You came here? What? Yeah.
Sure. We moved actually to Australia 10 years ago, and I'm from Tehran, the capital city of Iran. We came as refugees in Australia because the government has actually destroyed my country, my first home country, and we had actually nothing to lose more. I mean, Iranian people are fighting for decades, 50 years now, for their rights, for what they have lost over the 50 years of these occupiers coming to the country. Yes, thank you. So yeah, we left country and we came to Australia, and been a great country for us. We love.
When did you arrive here?
Into Australia?
Yeah.
It was 2014, I'd say.
14. Okay.
Yes. It's
So
more than 10 years. Yes.
Welcome. I was here before, so
thank you.
And tell me more about your education. What you do here?
Yeah. Actually, my background was back in Iran was environmental scientist. I had a bachelor in that, and we were working around the environment and all of that. But in Australia, I started working with children with autism.
Okay.
Yeah, so I love this job and been with that for maybe more than for 5 years now.
So you are very much doing something which Australia need. You are
Yeah.
contributing
Yeah, I
for this
really,
country.
yes, yeah, love to see the changes.
Yeah.
Little changes
Wow,
makes
wow,
me
wow.
feel like I am alive and I am doing
Wow.
something about the life, that I am appreciating the opportunity to live in
Yeah.
Australia. So yes, that's
Hashan, your turn, my friend. Tell me or tell our listener about yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us here. And namaste and good day and darud to
Darul.
all my brother and sister from India and to Australia. And actually, yeah, my name is Hassam. I'm 42 years old, Iranian. My background is, Muslim. I was born in Muslim family. And for about 30 years, 31 years, I was in Iran, and it was a very, very hard situation for all Iranian after 1979 when the Islamic revolution happened. My country, everything was changed. Before that, we have like a nation state. We have government who cares about national, the actually identity, about national interest for Iranian.
Yeah.
But after Islamic revolution happened, everything changed to be just religious and not any more freedom, not any more human right. So we were born, actually, me and Azin, we were born about 5 years after Islamic revolution happened. So
Okay.
so when we were in school, it was very, like a control, and we didn't have any freedom, as a kids, they were force us to do whatever government wants, and we could see brainwash to hate, everything. We were kids.
Hate everything.
Hate everything. We can go through that, but yeah, we have to hate everything. They force us to
So-
chant when we were kids.
So what to love? If I-
Exactly. What about humanity? What about love? What about peace? Why we cannot be friends with everyone? But yeah, finally, a few times, because we were very active, like the social activists,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
political activists, and finally, we couldn't stay in Iran anymore. We didn't, identify ourselves as a Muslim anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When we started, the searching about the meaning of life, about the history of, the religion, we could say, okay, we cannot be Muslim, in the way government, wants. So we are going to be just human being,
Yeah.
I don't know, agnostic or whatever they can say. But yeah, so we left.
But otherwise, you are Parsi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. Before the Islam arrived in Iran 1400 years ago. So Iranian, the religion in Iran was Zoroastrian. It was
Zoroastrian,
all
okay.
about good deeds, and about goodness, just
Yeah,
love,
yeah.
peace, And now lots of people think about that.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of young people, they are trying to find the
Their roots.
exactly the history, the rich history, because after that's the fact I'm going to tell you. After Islam, came to my country, they destroyed the identity of Iranian, the rich history,
okay.
and Iranian looking forward, what were exactly before Islam.
Yeah.
So Iran was a great country, great culture. And now it's just like a revolution again, national revolution. We are going to find out the history of Iranian. So yeah,
So,
finally.
Hisham, if I can ask you, sorry,
Yeah.
So you came here as a refugee in 2014,
Yes.
and what do you do now here in Brisbane?
Yeah, so in Iran, I was working, same as Azin in, like a tourism,
Yeah, yeah,
industry,
yeah.
and we had our own, handcraft shop,
Okay.
yeah, kind of artistic. So we came to Australia and we wanted to do same, but we found it is little bit hard here,
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I started working as a, the cabinet maker. It
Okay.
was still,
Yeah.
wood, wood stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I could get my certificate as a carpenter, as a builder.
Yeah.
Now I'm working in construction site with, the Aussie, the hard worker Aussie with high
Yeah.
vis, with
Yeah.
safety boot shoe, yeah. And yeah, I
Yeah.
love the atmosphere working with good people in Australia, the hard worker.
So, if I can ask, you love this country now?
Oh my God, the best country in the world, to be honest.
Wow.
I didn't travel a lot,
Wow.
maybe just 6 or 5 country, But, but social media, you can find out a lot of
Of course, of course,
information,
of course, of
You
course.
can see what's going on in Europe, what's going on, in USA. The
I
best country in the world, and I'm so appreciated,
Yeah.
I had the chance to be, in
Yeah.
Australia.
श्रोताओं, जैसे कि मैंने अभी एक बात कही थी, and I will repeat this thing in English now. See, Andy mentioned that you come to this country as a refugee. There has to be some reason behind it. What is that reason? Why you came to Australia?
So, when we were forced to leave our country, it was very hard decision. You have to leave your family, your friends, your background. You have to cut your roots.
Yes, it
everything
is.
you have.
It is not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy,
Yeah.
and start new language, new life,
Yeah.
new, everything. When you cut your roots, it's kind of like bleeding. It's not easy decision, but we were forced to do that because we were on a very bad
Yeah,
situation,
yeah.
oppressed,
Yeah.
government, and actually our life was in danger. We cannot, stay in Iran
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So actually, my the story is because my sister, she was already here.
Okay.
Yeah, and we knew about Australia,
Okay.
and then when we find out this beautiful country, the real democracy, freedom of speech, and nice people, multicultural. So that whatever everyone looking forward to, find that in new home. So that was the reason we choose Australia.
What do you want to add? Why you
Why
come
we
to
chose
Australia? Yeah.
why we chose Australia. Of course, for having we had a relative living in here, and she was always talking. You need to live in Australia. What you're doing back in Iran, making you living unsecure
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not being safe out there. Whatever you're looking for a life, you will have it in here. But we were thinking, never ever we will leave the country until it was the
Yes.
point. It was the time that we had to flee the country,
Yeah.
and we came to Australia and we found what we were looking for, and why we are here right now. It's like we are seeing that those things that brought us here together is in danger as well, because
Yes.
we can see whatever
So,
was.
so to,
Maybe I'm just
Yeah.
going too fast.
इन दोनों लोगों ने ही एक कंपनी बनाई है, एक संस्था बनाई है, मैं इसको ऐसे बोलूँगा, जिसका नाम है माइनॉरिटी इम्पैक्ट कोलिशन लिमिटेड. ये उनके डायरेक्टर हैं. तो हम अभी उनसे पूछेंगे कि ऐसा क्या हुआ जिसकी वजह से उन्होंने ये बनाई है. सो now I have to ask you this one. You made this organization called Minority Impact Coalition.
Yes.
This name got a bit different meaning, and I'll come to that part. But let's start from here. What made you do this thing? Why you doing it? You were a refugee. I believe you were not that rich people after listening to your thing. And you're spending your time, your values, everything for this cause. Why?
Well, first of all, we were fighting for peace and for love and for whatever the Islamic regime had taken from us, from our childhood, from our younghood, and we had lost it. So we were fighting to get them. Finally, we had them in Australia, but 2.5 years ago, our peaceful life in here got a bit um, um, changed a little, because what happened back in Iran, back home, we could not shut our eyes on it.
Yes.
They started killing. It was they killed a girl,
That girl.
the
okay,
Mahsa
yeah,
Amini. Of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
you've
yeah.
heard of her. Only for a little bit of the hair out of
yeah,
the
yeah.
scarf, and of the morality police, so-called morality police, got her and they killed her, beat her to death. They killed so many young, beautiful young Iranians,
Oh, she
over
was beautiful.
600
How
young
somebody can
people.
kill some? You have to have a.
It's like you're killing your
hatred,
own citizen. You're killing your own brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
The
Like
70
just
kids,
so
actually.
violent.
Wow.
And the kids, 70, including 70 kids. So like as young as 2-year-old,
So that made
9-year-old.
you
Feel like
create,
we have to start again. This fight is not over, and we can't shut our eyes
Yes.
on that. So
Yeah,
we
that's a very
started.
good point.
Yeah, we started to think what we can do to make this government, this violent. We can't even call them government. They're not government. They're evils. We
Well,
had to.
I actually, this is my opinion. I may be wrong. This is organized gangs who capture three things.
Yeah.
One is called land.
Yeah.
Actually, in Hindi we call Jal Jameen Joru. So they forcefully control girls, ladies, land,
Yeah.
and of course anything on that land.
Of
Jal
course, the
Jameen Joru.
resources.
So this is the resources they capture by having this call a book say I'm this one, and somehow they are being preached that this whole world is created for them to use and abuse.
Yeah.
And if you do not, then you are kafir, and you have to
Exactly.
fight
Kafir.
with the kafir and all.
Yeah.
And if you do this thing, if you kill anybody, you will go to heaven where 72 who's
Virgin.
Exactly.
virgin, they all are virgin waiting for you.
Yeah.
And this is the bottom, and this is being preached 5 times. If anybody who disagree with me, please let me know. I'm happy to really learn about it. I really want to learn it.
No, you're 100% right
People
about
say, well, love is peaceful religion. Of course it could be. But I want to learn it. So when you have created this organization, this is a company limited by guarantee, you have an object clause in that one. What is that object? What this organization would like to do?
Well, first of all, because this, the government, the leftist government, I call them, they think that they have us covered. They claim that they are multicultural. They value all this multiculturalism in Australia. But we don't see that. We don't see that respect to us. Because this organization is made with 3 different minorities actually in Australia. I mean, one is majority, of course. It's one of our co-directors are Australian. He is Australian. One is Jewish, and one is Iranian. So it is actually multicultural organization already. But we feel like this government are not supporting us. They're not listening to us, and they're not respecting.
How do you feel? How do you know they are not listening to you?
Okay, as an Iranian, back to the story I started earlier, when we saw that Iranian are under operation again, we asked this government to at least put the IRGC on the terror list where it belongs. Canada,
what is
US.
this, IOC?
IRGC is the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps that has the globe on their flags, and they don't consider themselves Iranian. They're not for Iran. They are for the whole Muslim Brotherhood. which is called Khalifa or Caliphate or Ummat or whatever. So they belong to the whole world Muslim community. So basically what you said about the land, they have occupied Iran as their first
they
resource,
captured it, yeah.
and they oppressing the people of Iran. Just do whatever I am telling you to do, otherwise you will kafir, as you mentioned before. And I'm so happy that you understand all these, words, because it's so hard to explain what kafir
it is
means.
affecting, if somebody say, I don't know, they should know, they should better know. I'll only give one example of UK at this stage. I don't know how much you follow American Vice President, JD, he just mentioned that if nuclear war happened from Europe, it will be not from any Islamic country, it will be from UK. Because that is now going to become an Islamic country. I may be wrong, but...
And we don't want it in here.
Yeah. And in UK today, we have 10 mayors who have, they are not so-called traditional UK or Christian. They are all missing. Most of them are, I think, of Pakistani based. On this note, I would like to add my another guest. She's also in Brisbane, and her name is Rose. Try to contact her on our phone to see how it goes. So let me try. But in the meantime, if I can also get you ready with this one, how we are preparing for this coming election, because in my opinion this election is going to be very critical,
That's right.
and we have to do something about it.
I think Rose would be the best person talking
Yeah.
about our campaign, but Sam, are you ready to
So
add something?
yeah, maybe
about-
onto.
Hello, Roj. Let me. Hello, Roj. Hello, Rose. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can definitely hear you very well. How are you, Rose? Rose, most welcome on our Darpan Radio program. Rose, can you please
Thank
tell
you.
us a bit more about yourself?
I'm Jewish, Israeli born, now calling Australia home.
Oh, well.
I've lived here for 7 years in Brisbane with my wife. We have 2 young children. And I guess I feel very lucky to have met Azin and Hessam and to start this amazing project together, because
Yeah.
on October 7th, 2023, our lives in the Jewish community were completely the drama of those days.
Your voice has been dropping, Rose. Hello,
Yeah,
Rose.
we've lost her.
You might. Rose, okay. Should I call you back, Rose? Hello. I think we have to reconnect with Rose. But can we start with you, Hisham? This election is coming, well, weekend is coming.
Yeah.
Only 6 days, 7 days left. Okay, just,
Minority movement.
okay. Hi, Rose.
Hello, we got disconnected.
Your voice was not good quality.
Sorry.
I guess, again, so you were talking about what you were doing in Brisbane, about yourself. So
Yes,
you are a
yes.
young mother of 2, and what
Yes,
do you do
we
for
have
living?
2 children. We have 2 children, and before we started this organization, I was just in marketing. I was just working a normal job. Is the
Uh-huh.
audio okay now?
Yes, it's very good.
Great. I was just working a normal job. I was a normal family person. I was not involved in politics or in activism. And then on October 7th, 2023, everything changed. And the
Yes.
trauma of that day is still with us now. And it really put a literal fire under us, especially as hate crimes and terror attacks started to reach Australia as well, we realized that we couldn't just sit by and say
Yeah.
nothing and do nothing.
Exactly. Well, a lot of people say, Rose, that, oh, politics, it's not me, I'm not into this. But politics is in you. You can't, if you're living in a political system, you have to be part of it. You have no option, you know.
Yes,
But,
and if you sit by and you are not a part of it, you become a pawn and you become used by these
Yeah.
political parties that take
Exactly.
advantage of your ignorance.
so, Rose, if I can take you to this post, also, I'm sorry, but I have to add this one. The Green senator, and she is um, a deputy leader of Green, and I want to actually share with our audience as well that, and I want to read this one, and then I want to have your comment, please. So, Senator Mehreen Faruqi, she posted,
Yes.
okay, and
I said, yes.
and now she's talking about all those things. Now, she should be representing Australian interests. This is my first thing. If I'm in Australia, my first loyalty should be with Australia. We should make this country far more prosperous. What we got this country is the say a base level. Now we make it double, triple prosper. This is how I look. We can't make this country. Say, for example, Engineer Maheshan, if I can bring you in this discussion as well, you left your country because that country was not good enough when you come to Australia. Would you like to make this country like Iran? I don't think so.
That's a phobia, and now actually it's not a phobia. It's like now is a rational, feeling. Actually, we can see what's going on. As about 2.5 years ago, when women life freedom happened in Iran, we asked Australian government to do something against the Islamic regime and Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in Iran. But they refused to do that. They said it's against the Australian national interest to do something against the IRGC, which is terrorist organization. Canada and USA recognize Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as the terrorist organization.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. Actually, we asked Australian government to do same, but they said it's against the Australian national interest, and IRGC is a part of the organ of the nation. And it was an excuse, and we were so upset. We believe Australian values. This based on humanity, and that things happen in Iran. It's against human. It's against the women's right. But yeah, we were so upset. But when the 7th of October happened, we couldn't believe that. The night of the 7th of October, before Israel do anything to defend itself, we could see the terrorist supporter came to the street in Australia, in the Opera House, and chanting about the kill the Jews.
And we in the Jewish community, we were still receiving the live streamed images of the murders and the assaults that were happening, that Hamas were live streaming and celebrating. And then suddenly to see in Australia, onshore here, this level of radicalization, which clearly was there for a while, but just now had an opportunity to come out the door and say hello. And we can see, like this post that you just read, we can see that our politics in Australia have been hijacked and kidnapped by very radical entities with agendas that we can suspect what their agendas are, but we don't really know.
Universities.
Yeah.
Literally.
And this is called state capture and institutional capture. And it is a slow process that was started many, many years ago, but because Australia is the lucky country and people here have been so fortunate and they have never experienced terrorism, they have never experienced where radicalization leads, they have softly been taken over.
But the way,
and now we're seeing the results of this.
Yeah, but the way things are happening, Rose, it's very clear written on the wall that Greens are very clearly doing something which is, in my opinion, not in favor or well-being of Australian or Australia as a country.
It's outright treason. We know that some of the protest rallies, the Palestinian protest rallies, the A55 rallies,
Yeah.
we know that those were coordinated and funded by Iran's regime.
Exactly.
And we know that Greens politicians led those rallies, spoke at those rallies, and attended, which means that they were attending rallies for a foreign interest for Iran, which in fact is treason. So once we become aware of this, that the Greens are not what they seem, they're not for the environment, they are fueling the terror threat, which, by the way, has now risen, which means that over the next year, the Australian Intelligence Agency believes that it's over 50% chance of a
Wow.
mass casualty terror attack. And guess who the people that are most at risk? Of course, it's first the Jewish people, and then the other minorities in
Other minority.
in
Yeah.
sort of
But
order
can I
after
ask
that,
you,
including Hindus.
Can I ask, Rose, because we
Yes.
have election coming here, and
Yes.
everybody got right to vote. What we should be thinking, what we should be asking our candidate, so that it does not happen. And people think, oh, it's only one election, it's only my one vote. No, it's not that. Your one vote
Well-
can make a big impact on everything in the whole country. If
That's
suppose
exactly
balance
right,
of
and I
power goes
think
to one person,
it-
it can create a big mess for the whole country. Every vote is so critical.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And especially the Hindu vote is so critical because this Labour government with Anthony Albanese in the lead has taken you all really for granted. In 2022, Albanese went to your events, wore your flowers,
Yes.
did your hand motions and gestures, and promised that they would not do deals with the Greens, because already back then the Greens were showing signs of this radicalization. And suddenly now we are 65 deals with Greens later, including Albanese himself, who has put Greens 2 on his preference sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we are
That is
seeing is
actually
that it's
most
not
worrying
only the
thing.
Greens that are the problem.
That's the most worrying thing, trust me.
Yeah.
If Labour is going to give a preference to Greens, this end of the matter. The whole thing is gone.
Yeah, unfortunately.
If Greens are going to control Labour, I have really big question. Because
I think
if
it's
the
even the
radical,
opposite, potentially.
okay, what is that?
Where potentially we're seeing it a little bit wrong, where the Greens are doing their thing, but actually Labour is a lot more in control than we think. It's not that they are just being puppeted. They are engineering the situation. They are
Really?
giving the Greens the gift of power with the preferences. Labour can just preference Liberal. They can just preference each other.
Oh,
But
of
Labour
course, yeah,
chooses
you're
to
right,
preference
yeah,
the
yes,
Greens
you're right,
and
yeah.
give them the gift of power
Yeah.
for free.
You're right, yeah. Well, Rosa, I know you are really busy and you give us a time, but would you like to say
Thank you.
something to our audience? What they should be thinking about how to vote and how to talk to our candidate, that what is good for not. I'm not talking about Labour or Liberal or anybody. What I'm saying is, hey, can we talk to our candidate that your preference is going to impact this country in this manner? We have to save our Australian values. We have great values. People
There's
should
only
take
one
example
question.
whole world what values we have.
As the Minority Impact Coalition, we want to bring together Hindus, Jews, Iranians, Sri Lankans, Filipinos, every single minority group that understands how bad radicalization is.
Yeah.
We even have some people in the Muslim community who are actually part of our group, but they cannot come out and be public. They have to remain anonymous, and they don't like it either. And I think the most important thing is that we achieve a change of government, because Labour and the Greens need to learn that this is not the way to lead this country. But everyone at home in the Hindu community and beyond, I think if you just ask your member of parliament, what are you going to do to keep us safe from this
Very
rising
good point,
radicalism,
Very
from
good
hate
point.
crimes, from temple vandalization, from Jews being targeted in anti-Semitic attacks? What are you going to do? Because the only answer they can really give is that they won't preference the Greens, but they will if they are Labour,
Can
unfortunately.
I get your remark on one incident happened just in India, where 28 Hindus, male,
Yes.
were killed by asking this question that are you Hindu or Muslim? So they asked them to, uh, say Quran verses, and they also put their pen down to check whether they are Muslim or Hindu, and then they killed in front of the wives, the mothers,
Yes.
the children, and how horrific it can be possible. Would you like to make any comment on that?
I guess we are watching this unfold, and we and Hessam and Azin and all of us in the Jewish community, we stand with you. We know how this feels. We feel this experience every day, and we know that this danger is coming closer and closer to home.
It is.
And I guess I want the Hindu community to know that I know how much racism you face every day, because I am doing content online now. We are doing all these ads with Minority Impact on Instagram and Facebook, and I see the comments, and I see how people treat you, and I see how this government thinks that they sort of own you, and they own your vote, and they don't have to actually do anything real, and they don't have to actually protect you. But they do, and they should, and you deserve to have a voice, and you can stand up, and you are contributing to this country, and you don't have to be quiet or be good or try and sit in the corner. You can have power here, because I tell you that other groups are doing this and getting organized.
And the thing is, what they're doing is giving some few $1 million here and there to show that I'm giving for this temple or that temple. And this is called a bribe. I don't know what to say. If you destroy this country by giving $2 million, I think Hindus or Indian should be very careful about it, whether we should take this money.
Grants are going to be given to every group. Grants and funding is a good thing, but it is not the only thing. And we need to see the bigger picture.
I mean, we are well enough to do ourselves. But on this note, Rose, I really want to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And for all your support. Let's work together on this one. Make this country more beautiful, more prosperous.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Namaste.
You. Namaste.
Thanks, Rose.
So, what do you think about this incidents which happened in India?
In Kashmir.
In Kashmir.
Yeah, actually, when we see the fact and history about, we can call them, as the Douglas Murray. He is a British writer. He called them death cult. Actually, they celebrate the death. They don't think about life. They don't think about love, about peace. That's an ideological war against people who once have peace in their life. We can see. Because, as I said, I've got a Muslim, family and Muslim background. But when I can see, what happened in Kashmir, as you said, they ask people. And if I'm going to go more details, we know about the, circumcised, custom in Iran. They check, man to make sure if they are not circumcised, they are Hindu, and kill them. That's how can I say that? In 2025. This happened in our world, and people still ignore that. Where are your green politician industry to be against those terrorism? Why you choose just the wrong side in the history?
Today in Sydney, we are going to have some agitation. I have with me Kapil Bajaj. Kapil जी,
नमस्कार जी।
दर्पण रेडियो में आपको बहुत बहुत स्वागत है।
धन्यवाद।
आज आपको बरसात में जल्दी उठा दिया लगता है।
नहीं, बिल्कुल सही।
चाय हो गई आपकी?
चाय होगी।
कपिल जी, हमारे साथ में हमारे मेहमान आए हैं क्वींसलैंड से, और वो माइनॉरिटी इम्पैक्ट कोalition करके एक संस्था उसको चलाते हैं. So please tell us about what is happening about this killing happened in Kashmir, and what you would like to achieve out of this protest, जिसमें कि हमारे जितने भी दर्पण के श्रोतागण भी हैं उसमें जुड़े.
थोड़ा एक छोटी सी बात है, मैं अपने कुछ पुराने जो नाइटमेयर्स है ना, दे हैव कम फॉरवर्ड विद दिस इंसिडेंट जो
Okay.
22 तारीख को 22 ऑफ अप्रैल को हुआ कश्मीर में। जस्ट गुनाह क्या था कि वो लोग हिंदू थे।
जी।
मुझे याद है 1980s में हमें भी बस से निकाला गया। मेरा खुद का इंसिडेंट है, बस से निकाला गया
ओह,
और गोली मारने के लिए, क्योंकि हम हिंदू हैं।
तो
बच
आपकी
इसलिए गए
बैकग्राउंड भी कश्मीर से है?
क्योंकि नहीं, मेरा बैकग्राउंड पंजाब से है।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, ओके।
मेरा बैकग्राउंड पंजाब से है। मैंने पंजाब की उस टाइम पे मिलिटेंसी देखी है, उस
अच्छा
टाइम पे
अच्छा
हेरोइज्म
अच्छा,
देखा
सॉरी,
है।
ओके, मैं समझ गया।
हाँ, तो उस टाइम पे भी ये चल रहा था। ये नाइटमेयर कब खत्म होगा? ये हम इस कंट्री में आए हैं और इस कंट्री में लोग पहले कभी रेसिज्म नहीं देखी थी। मैं आपका पहले सुन रहा था, कभी रेसिज्म नहीं देखी, कभी कुछ ऐसा गलत नहीं होता था। अब सब कुछ वही हो रहा है जो बाकी कंट्रीज में हो रहा है, जहां पे मिनोरिटीज आर बीइंग ऑप्रेस्ड। ये
माइनॉरिटी
इस्लाम
का जो सबसे बड़ा पार्ट है, ऐसा नहीं कि एक माइनॉरिटी को खुश करा जा रहा है। मेरा जो सबसे बड़ा कंसर्न है, और वो खुश ऐसा है कि वो दिखावा है, वो उसके लिए भी हित में नहीं है। अब आप अगर किसी को, जो पुलिस पॉलिटिक्स जो होती है, वो किसी के भी हित में नहीं होती है। जो वोट बैंक की पॉलिटिक्स होती है, वो देश को बर्बाद करती है। सामने एग्जाम्पल है, आपको गलती करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
बिल्कुल।
तो आज जो आपका प्रोग्राम हो रहा है, वो कहाँ पे हो रहा है, और क्या उसमें करने वाले हैं, कैसे हमारे श्रोता उसमें जुड़ सकते हैं?
आज का जो प्रोग्राम है ये वेंटवर्थविल में रेडकम सेंटर में हो रहा है। हम सभी
इसका
जो,
एड्रेस क्या होगा?
इसका एड्रेस है रेडकम सेंटर वेंटवर्थविल, वेरी क्लोज टू द ट्रेन स्टेशन,
अच्छा
2 मिनट्स वॉकिंग फ्रॉम द ट्रेन स्टेशन।
जी।
और वहां पे जितनी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, हिंदू ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, इंडियन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, समथिंग अराउंड 68 ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस इकट्ठी होके अपना जो इतना बड़ा हादसा हुआ है जहां पे इनोसेंट लोगों को मार दिया गया है कश्मीर में, उसके रोष में इकट्ठे हो रहे हैं,
अच्छा
प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं कि ये गलत है। जो एथनिक क्लिंसिंग करने की कोशिश की जा रही कश्मीर में पिछले 1990 से, वो
जी।
खत्म होनी चाहिए। रेसिज्म, रेस बेस्ड जो किलिंग है, ये खत्म होनी चाहिए। टेररिज्म इज नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल इन दिस मॉडर्न सोसाइटी।
जी जी। तो ये कितने बजे शुरू हो रहा है प्रोग्राम?
ये शाम को 6:30 बजे शुरू होगा। वी आर रिक्वेस्टिंग एवरीबडी टू बी देयर बाय 6 इन द इवनिंग।
6 in the evening, ओके।
वहां पे कैंडल लाइट विजिलेंस भी चलेगी।
अच्छा।
उसके बाद वहां पे जो हम अपना विचार भी एक दूसरे के साथ साझे कर सकते हैं।
ठीक है।
क्या इश्यूज हैं, किस तरह से हमें इसको टैकल करना है, किस तरह से ये कम होना चाहिए। आज हम अपनी आवाज नहीं उठाएंगे तो कब?
जी, बिल्कुल सही बात है। और श्रोताओं, अगर कोई फर्दर जानकारी चाहें तो कपिल जी, आप अपना नंबर दे सकते हैं?
हाँ जी, मेरा नंबर है 0425 290 316।
तो श्रोताओं, आज आप, मुझे मालूम है कि बरसात हो रही है, लेकिन ये कॉज ऐसा है जिसमें हमें जुड़ना है। हम इस सब के लिए अच्छा है। जो लोग ये यातना दे रहे हैं, मैं दावा के साथ में कह रहा हूँ कि ये उनके लिए भी अच्छा है कि रुक जाओ, ऐसा ना करो, ऐसा ना करो, क्योंकि जो अति होती है वो किसी के लिए ठीक नहीं होती है। जियो और जीने दो। एक खूबसूरत वर्ल्ड है, दुनिया कितनी खूबसूरत बनाई है, शांति से रह सकते हैं। कपिल जी, आपने जो हमें समय दिया उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद।
So, we have this program happening this evening, 6 o'clock. There's a suburb called Wentworthville. So all Hindus and Indians, even Indians, they are whatever religion they might have. We are very peaceful, calm type of people. But somehow, just I don't know whether it's country Pakistan. Technically, it's a country Pakistan, but it is not. India was divided.
I know.
By for a region, and now it's such a there are around 25 around 250 million people living in this piece of land, and they all are a living bomb. All are living bomb. Again, I want to say something that for lady, I really feel sometime how it is so incom- uncomfortable even to talk. Even to talk, but we have this courage. We have this something to talk about it, and I want to now talk to you further about how we can do something about this election. Let's be very focused on that. What our voters should be asking our candidate, what voters should be doing on that, how to vote. Can you please help us on that?
Yeah, for
As
sure.
a minority, what we should be our thinking process?
Yeah, as Rose mentioned that, now everyone knows. Everyone knows green politicians, they don't care about Australia. As I said, there were a lot of, the event in the name of, free Palestine, but we could see the people in that event, they had the photos of Ayatollahs, the Khamenei,
Yes,
the
yeah,
leader
yeah.
of
Yes,
the
it was.
dictator of
It
Iran,
was. It
and
was, yeah.
Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps flag, Hamas flag, Hezbollah flag. They are all terrorist organization, and Green Party politicians, they joined that event and endorsed that event. So it means they don't care about Australia.
So
They-
what to do now for, as a voter who is not sort of aware?
Yeah. So
We brought you from Queensland really to make our audience aware as well. What will be the impact? Because you've been through this prosecution, you have to leave your country.
yeah. So that's easy. If they don't care about Australia, so we shouldn't vote for them. In democracy, the only tools we have as a people is our vote. If they are not for us, we shouldn't support them. So unfortunately, Labor for Iranian government, for Iranian people, they didn't whatever we asked as an Iranian Australian about Iran, about the terrorism happening in Australia. So what if they don't support us? If they don't care about Australia, we don't support them. That sometimes it's we can't say between bad and worse.
Yeah,
And
between bad and worse,
maybe
yeah.
it's not perfect situation,
Yeah.
but if they are not for Australia, we shouldn't support them. That's easy. Green and unfortunately Labor, we can see that now. If they put Green as a preference, so they are not in yeah.
And then what do you want to say as a lady? I want your perspective, please.
Well, we just want the government, the leaders, that they don't lie. That's basically really simple. The request that we have from the government, that we vote for them to come and to be in the power to do what we are, as citizens, requesting, like simple things like being safe and secure in Australia. That's the first thing we wanted when we moved to Australia. We were not thinking about like a paradise.
Yeah.
We were just looking for somewhere safe to live. But we have seen the steps of the danger that we escaped from in Australia. Why is it? The weak leaders, the weak government has led this beautiful country.
So you arrived in 2014,
Yep.
right? What you have seen change? You worried about, or you thinking it's all okay?
A lot of changes, like seeing the pictures of Ayatollahs was my deadline,
my God,
honestly.
yeah.
When I saw IRGC's flags, Hezbollah's flags, Hassan Nasrallah's pictures
Oh my God, yeah.
on the streets in Australia, I could not believe my eyes. Why am I, what am I seeing? Is it like, what's happening? What is happening in Australia? I could not believe it.
And
because
Taliban flag actually,
and
just a few
Taliban
days
flag
ago.
in
Yeah.
the University of Sydney, in the heart of Australia, you see these people just freely using the freedom of speech, all democratic values in Australia against the people and the values in Australia. This is why we have to stand up. We don't have another chance. We have to.
We don't have another chance.
No, that's the thing. If we lose this election again to this weak government, we won't get back what we lose in 4 years, in 3 years. It is not easy to close your eyes on Kashmir, on Israel, in Iran. Don't close your eyes.
Bangladesh, yeah.
Bangladesh. Like now in Iran, there are people being killed of the explosion of something. We don't even know what was that. And the Islamic regime is not even reporting. And people are being killed, like over 400 already in south of Iran. Who cares? Where is the Green and Labour government standing now for those people are dying? Why is there only one country that's matter to them? Why is that? What is the point of it? We need to question them. We need to stand for our rights and just be strong together, come together.
Just can I add something? You know,
Please.
A lot of people are talking about cost of living. But when the terrorist organization freely is in the street, who cares about 20 cents of, grocery or, egg or...
You leave everything. People think, I'm very prosperous, I don't care about. No.
Public transport. But when the people here in Australia, I'm talking about Australia, guys, beautiful country,
Peaceful.
getting infected by terrorism.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, our government doesn't do anything. That's simple. It's not hard to understand. You can stand against them as a politician and say you are not allowed. That's easy. Everyone should protect its home. Australia is our home. We shouldn't let anyone come to our beautiful home and support terrorism. Do something against the Hindu community, which is the peaceful people in the world. The only things we know about the Hindu community is dance, color, food.
Beauty.
But the other side is terrorism, and it's terrorism. So it's easy to choose the side. But unfortunately, the senator,
Farooqi, yeah. I could not
The
believe-
Senator Fatima Payman. She escaped from Afghanistan and she came to Australia and now she is a senator.
I thought she's Pakistani.
No, she's from
Senator.
Afghanistan.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fatima Payman.
And just maybe a few weeks ago, she said she joined the event was managed by Islamic regime in Australia, and she joined that event and say that Iran is the best country for women all around the world.
Oh my God.
Just come and look into my eyes and say that again.
And Senator Max Chandler, he is a Green, senator. They had the photos together when they had campaign, for this election. So you can see, Shah of Iran in 1979, before Islamic, revolution, he called these two ideology unholy alliance of red, which is radical Marxist, and black, which is radical Islamist. They converged together and destroyed my country. Mate, it's exactly happening all around the world. The leftist government, the leftist, politician joined the, Islamists. And if I say something, they said Islamophobia. No. I was victim of the
Islamic ideology.
Political Islamism.
I'm saying, Anjem, time is about to close now. I want to say that forget this phobia part. Let's talk about facts.
Yeah, exactly.
Just pure 100% facts. You don't need to go for opinion. Who says what? Don't worry about that. What are the facts today? Killing innocent people, irrespective, killing innocent people. Can you justify that? Killing somebody on the basis of that you are not following this faith? No, it is not. Killing somebody because you are dressed differently, you have open hair. Is it what we're talking here?
That's the basic, that's all the human civilization is based on, the human right and whatever we have. But unfortunately, politicians, they use the ignorance, for their own agenda.
No. They are not ignorant.
No, use the, the normal people,
They use the ignorance of other people.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Freedom of in my opinion, if your freedom is limited till the time you do not touch my freedom. Simple as that.
That's it.
At the last, what do you like to convey to our audience? Um, and Jim, yourself as well, and especially for the ladies as well.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just
I
audience.
think go
And
for
then
it.
we'll have.
I would actually, to wrap up, to say that put Labour and Green last. That's what we can do.
Okay.
To vote them out, we can make them feel that, okay, they were wrong. And they here to serve us. We vote for them to serve the citizens of Australia, not the citizens of other countries. So if your priority is not Australians' value, then okay, we will let you out and we'll see next time when you come back, you don't lie and you don't ignore some other minorities and don't pick on some minorities. So it is like to
So
only
this
use...
is your message for that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my friend
Just
Hessam,
put them
what
last.
do you like to say?
Yeah, same. My brother and sister, put the Greens and Labour last. We cannot afford another 3 years.
Yeah.
This weak government. We are minority, and the only things, first of all, is important for us is safety and security in our home, which is Australia now. And yeah, that's it. Let's make a big change for our future, for our
And,
family.
एग्जैक्टली श्रोता हूँ मैं इसलिए इस बात को दोबारा से कहना चाहता हूँ कि एक वोट नॉर्मली व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि कहता आदमी इट्स ओनली मेरा ही तो एक वोट है आई कैन गिव टू एनीबॉडी ना योर वन वोट कैन
It
चेंज
is
द होल
important.
डेस्टिनेशन ऑफ दिस कंट्री
100%.
one vote. So please
Please be
respect your
careful.
vote. Ask your candidate. In my opinion, I will say, though this is your view that don't vote Labour, don't vote Greens. I'm saying very simple, very question. Ask your candidate, would you like to commit and change yourself? And then you vote for that person.
Yeah.
Vote for the policy. If suppose somebody who is doing harm to Australia, please do not vote. It's a beautiful country. It's a very prosperous country. Let's make it happen. And everybody got to contribute. श्रोताओ हमारे साथ में संजीव जी आ गए हैं. जैसे मैंने आपको बोला था कि संजीव जी आज जो गाने सुनाने वाले हैं आपको इस बरसात में, वो आपका दिल जो है ना कहाँ से कहाँ लेके जाएंगे. तो चाय समोसा पकौड़ा लेके बैठिए और आज सारा का सारा जो मेरी शिकायत है वो संजीव जी पूरी करने वाले हैं, क्योंकि मैं गाने नहीं बजा पाता हूँ. मेरा वो थोड़ा सा लिमिटेशन है श्रोताओं, आप तो समझ ही गए होंगे. लेकिन संजीव जी जो है ना हमारे बहुत अच्छे कम्प्लीमेंट्री हैं. वो हमें कम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे गानों के. भरपूर गाने आज होने वाले हैं. तो संजीव जी आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं?
नहीं, बस आज जो है हम मन्ना डे जी के कुछ गीत लेके आए हैं छटे हुए, और कुछ नए गाने भी लाए हैं. और आई ऑलवेज लाइक टू प्ले सम लव सॉन्ग्स. तो
लव सॉन्ग, ओह माय गॉड. तो श्रोताओ दिल थाम के बैठिए. सो Hisham and Anjin, I want to say, I don't know how to really thank you enough. You came all the way from Queensland, and but hopefully we'll have a good time. We'll take you around, hopefully, possibly somewhere Indian food if you like it. But the cause in which you're doing it is beyond, especially when you are young, struggling for your career, your life, your family, having children, this and that, and you're giving your time, that much time. You've flown from Brisbane, coming to Sydney, stayed overnight. It's amazing. I really want to, I don't know how much I can thank you for that. But
Thank you.
I promise you one thing though, you will have reciprocal personally from Darpan Radio and from me. I will do anything possible for your cause as well.
Thank you so much.
You are doing for a prosper, greater, a beautiful Australia, not just for yourself alone. I know, because your pain will come here, and you have seen it. It's not, you are not a book where somebody wrote it. You experience it.
No.
So श्रोताओं, इसी के साथ में आज आपसे विदा लेते हैं, लेकिन संजीव जी के हाथ में हम ये डोर समा के दे रहे हैं. दिल थाम के बैठिए.
थैंक यू यतीश जी, थैंक्स अ लॉट. और श्रोताओं, आपका दर्पण हिंदी कार्यक्रम के अगले घंटे में स्वागत है। और गुप्ता जी जो हैं इज डूइंग अ ग्रेट सर्विस टू द कम्युनिटी एंड थैंक यू गुप्ता जी फॉर दैट। और
इट्स माय प्लेजर। नाउ यू हैव टू मेक श्योर हमारे सारे श्रोता जो है ना एंटरटेन ढंग से हों।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, आप चिंता ना करें। तो श्रोताओं, अब समय होता है समाचारों का, तो चलिए शुरू